What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your host, Jay Pooch. I'm back with an all-new Jay at the Movies. Today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Rather than review a film, or rather than cut up a trailer and show it to you, I'm going to be counting down 30 of the most anticipated films of 2019. One of the most anticipated films of the year, it's M. Night Shyamalan's Glass. It's bringing together the two stories that we've so far seen, that started in Unbreakable and continued with Split. I can't wait to see this film. You're getting a whole picture and we're going to get the whole story. And then this is coming out very soon, within the next couple of weeks. Also being released in January. It is a new film by Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. The film that's being released on January 25th, it is called Serenity. No, it does not have anything to do with the original film called Serenity that was released several years ago, or Serendipity. This is a whole new film. Starring Anne Hathaway and Matthew McConaughey. It is a cerebral thriller about a man who is visited by his ex-wife. She begs him to save her from her abusive second husband. It's a story that sends them both into a dark and twisted web of chaos and deceit, and it's something that is gonna probably either fly under the radar the most, or people will check it out due to the star power that is being featured in this film. It's one that I am most looking forward to, and look, January's looking pretty good. You got two great films right off the bat. Then we're gonna move into February, where things are gonna start to look a little bit more happy. And what do I mean when I'm talking about happy? I'm talking about the Lego Movie 2, the second part. It's being released February the 8th. This is taking place 4 years after the original and two spin-offs after the original. I'm talking about the Lego Movie Ninjago and the Batman Lego Movie. This is Chris Pratt returning as the hero Emmett for a sequel, along with Elizabeth Banks, Charlie Day, Will Arnett, Nick Offerman, Tiffany Haddish, and Maya Rudolph. The whole cast is back for an all-new crazy adventure in the Lego world. This is being released February the 8th. On top of that, we have a new film being released starring the likes of Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. This is also being released on February the 8th. Now, Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen have always been known to put on some great performances in some greatly written and directed films. This probably will be no different. It's a black comedy. It's from the director Jonathan Levine, and it is about an out-of-work journalist who still pines for his childhood nanny. Basically, it's about a guy who's been obsessed with his childhood nanny, and now he's out of his job and he's all grown up, and she's become a powerful politician. It's gonna be your black romantic comedy movie that will have most people going to see it come Valentine's Day. So there you go, you've got a big release come Valentine's Day, even though it comes out on February the 8th, that a lot of people will be wanting to see with their boyfriends and girlfriends. On March 1st, we're releasing a movie that is Doug Liman directed. And for those who don't know who Doug Liman is, he's the one who went on to direct the first Bourne Identity film, and also Edge of Tomorrow, which I think was renamed to Live, Die, and Repeat, which starred Tom Cruise. Doug Liman has also directed Mr. and Mrs. Smith and many, many other action films. This film is featuring Tom Holland. For those who don't know who Tom Holland is, he is the actor who is currently playing Spider-Man. He's had quite a great few years. Spider-Man Homecoming was a fantastical film where he stole the show with his performance and interpretation of Spider-Man. He also brought that same performance and that same integrity and that same intensity in the Avengers film, Infinity War. Sorry, I forgot what it was called, in Infinity War. The film also stars Daisy Ridley, who is no stranger to big films. She's the main actress, surprisingly, in the Star Wars franchise. The film I'm talking about is called Chaos Walking. It's a big screen adaptation of Patrick Ness's popular Yas series, we should say, about two young adults who are on the run from fastest leaders in a dystopian futuristic world. March 8th. I'm talking Captain Marvel. This is the next installment in the Marvel Universe franchise, and it is a film that has a lot of people excited to see, simply because this is the film that then leads into Avengers Endgame. For the last year or so, people have been talking and chiming and expressing their incredible love and passion for this incredible film of Avengers Infinity War. And now we're about to get some answers. Maybe some answers, not too many answers, because we're going to leave most of them for the Avengers Endgame film. But this film, Captain Marvel, will be tying in the origin story for Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, and Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury. This film, I don't have to tell you any more than what it is. It is going to be it's a new comic book film. It's the first time that Marvel is putting all their eggs in one basket and banking on a female superhero to do well. The next film I'm talking about, which is also being released in March, is Jordan Peele's follow-up to the smash hit Get Out. This is called Us. Alright, for those of you who did not see Get Out, I recommend watching this. This was a hellacious film from start to bottom. It was a wild and crazy ride, and boy oh boy, when it came to that ending and when it came to with the twists being revealed and everything that was going on, you were left completely speechless at the fact that these people were plain and simple kidnapping the African American community and replacing the cerebral cortex with the minds of their family members and their siblings. Those who were about to die, they were implanting their brains into the African Americans and using their bodies as hosts. Now that's fucked up. So Us is gonna probably be just as messed up. It is a terrifying thriller starring an incredible cast, which includes Winston Duke, Lupita Nyong'o, which I probably butchered, Elizabeth Moss, and Tim Heidecker. It follows a family who is stalked and terrorized by a mysterious group of doppelgangers. Jesus, I can't wait to see this film, and it is being released March 15th. For those of you who don't know yet, but Disney is ready and locked and loaded to have one of its biggest years of all time. With its releases of the Marvel films and franchise, we are also looking at several remakes that are coming out this year. Starting things off in the remake category, it is Dumbo. For those of you who've never seen this film, it is the story of an elephant with massive ears and that is capable of flying. The elephant, as in all Disney films, loses his mother at an early age. Basically, PETA would not be pleased with the way the elephant is being treated. The film is being released March 29th. There are some massive films that are already coming out in the month of March, and Dumbo is no other. Then we're moving on to April. You see, DC has been in a tough spot lately. With the success of Aquaman, they're looking to rebound off of what has been going on over the last few years. With the downpour of hatred to the fact that a lot of people have disliked these films, and I'm talking Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, Suicide Squad. Right there you've got a list of films that should have put any company out of business, but DC continues to strive with their extended universe and hopes to continue to offer something that the fans will finally find a liking to. Now that Marvel has taken over the universe and Marvel has taken over the comic book world, DC is still trying to find its footing. Wonder Woman did its job in getting the footing and being the first female character comic book movie to be released, and it was widely successful and a really good movie. Aquaman has gone on to do the same thing, and now we're looking at Shazam to do just that. See, this film's taking a page out of Marvel's book and delivering a lighthearted and irrelevant superhero movie. It stars Zachary Levi as its main character, whose powers are quite similar to Superman's. But the difference between the two is that Zachary Levi's character is actually a boy, and when he touches and when he does something, it turns him into a regularly sized adult with a cape and a whole suit and shebang, and he goes around saving people. This film is being released in the month of April. It will also play a deciding factor in where the DC universe stands in the movie world. Do people care enough to want to tune into a relatively unknown superhero? Do people care enough at this point for the DC world? If anything goes to show you, Aquaman was widely considered a success. It was directed by James Wan, who has gone on to direct almost all the best horror movies that you have seen in the last couple of years, and Paul Walker's final performance in the Fast and Furious franchise. We've got another remake that is coming out on the same day of April the 5th, and this is Pet Sematary. This is Stephen King's Pet Sematary. There were two films that were released earlier on in 1990 of the same name and the same story and the same concept, but this one is starring a relatively more well-known cast of big-name actors: Jason Clarke, Amy Seimetz, and John Lithgow. They will all be taking place in the remake of Stephen King's horror classic about a family who moves to New England And they end up discovering some terrifying secrets about the backyard, that the backyard used to actually be a cemetery where most pets were buried. What happens in this film, not to give too much away, is that the pets return to life and end up terrorizing the homeowners and those around them. This is going to probably be a hit or miss. Depending on the directing and the writing of this film, it could either be something to watch and something to get excited for, or it could be a financial and critical failure. We're going to find out on April the 5th which one stands tall between Shazam and Pet Sematary. We're moving on to a film that may have flown under the radar in most people's worlds, and it may have flown under the radar in a lot of cases due to the fact that of its lack of promotion. And the film I'm talking about is It Follows, a film about a sexually transmitted disease that once passed on, you would have something following you, and if this thing ever got too close to you, it basically would kill you. It was a original horror film that did not play by its regular rules, and it went about things in an unconventional manner and was directed in an unconventional manner on top of it. But I'm not talking about It Follows. See, on April the 19th, a film will be released under the name of Under the Silver Lake. It is from the director of It Follows, David Robert Mitchell. He's bringing himself another stylish thriller. This one features Andrew Garfield, former Spider-Man, former Amazing Spider-Man. He is now starring in a film that will be David Robert Mitchell's big break in the Hollywood world. You see, It Follows was his big break, but this film is not going to be getting more attention than It Follows ever did due to the fact that It Follows' success in the underground world and the fact that it became a cult favorite. The film stars Andrew Garfield as a Los Angeles man who is investigating the strange disappearance of a woman. The woman is being played by Riley Coe. And on to April the 26th, Avengers Endgame. This, my folks, is going to be the film to watch of 2019. If Infinity War was any indication of what is to come, this film will be bigger, it will be badder, it will be louder, it will be better, and it will leave the people who have been watching this franchise for the last close to 11 years now, it will leave them in tears. People will die, people will be reborn, and stories will end. And the phase will come to an end. On April the 26th, prepare yourselves for the epic final battle between Marvel's biggest superheroes as they take on their greatest foe, Thanos, and the anticipated close to the MCU's current plotline that will certainly bring the departure of many of the series' biggest stars. Avengers Endgame, April the 26th. Following April the 26th, we have got ourselves a first time ever live action for this franchise, and I am talking about the Pokemon franchise. Detective Pikachu being released on May 10th, 2019. It stars Ryan Reynolds, the voice and the actor in Deadpool. He's coming to play Pikachu, which is quite a surprise and something that's going to be interesting to watch. It is the first time that the Pokemon franchise and Nintendo have ever taken this opportunity to create a live-action Pokemon film. We've had the cartoon ones in the past, but this is the first time that they're actually taking a chance. But coming May 17th, it is the finale of a trilogy. It is the final chapter and the latest chapter in what has been one of the best action films inside of the United States of America. The film I'm talking about is John Wick Chapter 3. The first two installments gave hope to the idea that American action films can be better than what we've seen. It can be more than just explosions. It can be more than just CGI. It can be more than just your run-in-the-mill, capture the flag kind of story. It can be done real. It can be shot realistically. It can be acted out to its finest, and that's what happens when you bring in a pro like Keanu Reeves, who shows up to do the action, to do the moves, and to do everything himself. And that's what makes it so believable, is the fact that he is an actual trained martial artist, and that is being released May 17th. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a great year this year, with Bohemian Rhapsody being nominated and winning a Golden Globe. Now we're going to continue on the trail of this and deliver you a film entitled Rocketman, which is also being released on the same day as May 17th. Dexter Fletcher joined the crew of this year's Bohemian Rhapsody when director Bryan Singer was fired. This is the story and the telling of Elton John. The main character we'll be playing this is Taron Egerton. For those who don't know who Taron Egerton is, he is the main actor who appeared in Kingsman and Kingsman: The Golden Circle. He'll be playing Elton John. So just like Bohemian Rhapsody, this is gonna be following in the same footsteps of the telling of an origin story of a semi-drama biographical story of Elton John. Like I said, it's called Rocketman and it's being released on May the 17th. So I told you guys that Disney was having a big year. And my friends, that is without a doubt the truth. Disney is also releasing another remake, one that has been getting some scrutiny lately with the fact that a photo was released. That left many people unhappy. The film I'm talking about is Aladdin. It is the remake, and it is being directed by Guy Ritchie. It features the likes of Will Smith stepping in to the slippers to play Genie. That was made famous by Robin Williams. He's got some big shoes to fill right now, Will Smith. And that's the photo that I was talking about. It was released with Will Smith with no makeup, no CGI, no nothing. Basically playing the Genie, and people were pissed off that the Genie wasn't blue. Well, I can confirm to you that Will Smith has confirmed that the Genie will indeed be CGI'd blue, so no worries. This is my number 15th most anticipated film of 2019. It is Aladdin. It is a film that I truly grew up loving, and I can't wait to see it. Another big film, another sequel being released, should I say, this year, a part of the monster universe, which includes Godzilla, King Kong, at this point, and we're leading to the battle between Godzilla and King Kong. But before we get there, we've got to get through Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which is being released on May 31st. This is your blockbuster extravaganza. This is one of the most anticipated films of 2019. This is the follow-up to what was a successful film and remake released in 2017 or 16, and we are back. Godzilla is when it was released in 2016 or 17, and Godzilla is back at it again, and this time he brings with him Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. We've got ourselves a full-on battle that will be taking place on US soil. This cast includes Vera Farmiga, Millie Bobby Brown, known for her incredible work in Stranger Things, Kyle Chandler, who is no stranger to putting on incredible performances, Sally Hawkins, and Ken Watanabe, who was in the first Godzilla film that was released in 2016 or 17. If you're hoping for something beyond giant monsters fighting one another, this is not the film for you. This is the film that will be released and presented on May the 31st. This is the film that is, like I said, leading into King Kong vs. Godzilla, and it is called Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for this week. We counted down number 1 to number 18. Next week, this will continue. I will count down number 18 to number 30 of some of the most anticipated films of 2019. I know I told you I wasn't gonna be focusing solely on Hollywood films. This was a little bit Hollywood-esque, but the number 18 to number 30 countdown, that is gonna feature some surprise picks. On top of that, I will be mentioning some of my honorable mentions that are going to be worth checking out this year. There's a lot of films that are coming out. I may have missed a couple or quite a few depending on how you look at it. That's why my social media accounts are all at the bottom. If there's anything you want to send to me, my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are all down there. If there's something I missed or if there's something that you guys are looking forward to, please let me know. I would love to check it out and see what this film is about. Maybe it might even make the list from 18 to 30 or the honorable mentions. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the shares, the likes, and the subscriptions. Continue to do so. Continue to keep this going. I will see you all next week at Jay at the Movies, and we will be counting out number 18 to number 30. Peace.